This man posted a number of strange images to social media, saying that he found them while hiking through the woods with his dog. The man details that it was actually his dog who found them, saying that they were hidden inside a tube in the forest. He said there was a small opening that had this tube sticking out from the ground. He didn't know what it was and why it was there, saying that he followed it back but the rest of it was underground, and it was only this small section that was out in the open. He said though that from where he was standing you couldn't see it because it was at ground level. It was around 3 foot down, and said that it was as if a huge amount of dirt had been removed from this area, which would explain why the tube was then visible. The only reason he knew it was there was because his dog ran down the small ditch, and as he went down to look for him he found that his dog was actually inside the tube. Things then took a strange turn when the man said his dog was pulling at an old tin. He said the following: "I'm not sure why so much dirt had been removed from this area. It was all a bit strange. We've hiked through this area several times and I've never seen this pipe before, but I guess that's because you can't see it from the trail. You have to go around it, jump down around 3 feet, crouch down and then you're able to see it. Although it's so close to the footpath it's completely hidden. My dog had found something inside the pipe and started to pull at it. He's always finding stuff and I thought that it may have been a stick that was clogged up there. However, when I crouched down and shined my light on it, I could see that he'd found a strange looking tin. The first thing that came to my mind was that this thing was old. It reminded me of an old war tin that my grandfather used to have, and inside of it he would keep his rations. I then opened it thinking that it might have been a time capsule, but then I found all of these strange drawings inside. The paper was damaged and looked really old, but some of the drawings were in quite good condition. I'm not sure what these drawings depict though. There are some that look like strange clouds, others that are details of the human anatomy, and some that appear to show biblical or religious entities. I couldn't believe what I was looking at, and I was surprised at the quality of the images. I showed some of my friends and they put some out their ideas to explain why the photographs were placed there, but I think they may have belonged to a soldier, and that he used to draw during the wartime, and would keep them inside the old tin for safekeeping. Online users that saw the images couldn't decide on what they depicted. There were some that said the images are more mysterious, and that they detail a strange event that happened, but that the drawings were taken and hidden away. One user said the following: "No one knows how old these things are. Are they 50 years old or are they 200 years old? I don't think we'll get an answer for what these things are, which is a shame as I would love to know their backstory." Another user said the following: "This might be someone who is suffering with something, and perhaps to deal with what they had they decided to start drawing out their thoughts and imaginations. I will say though that their penmanship is very impressive, and that they definitely had a gift when it came to drawing." Others suggested that if you put the photographs in order then they might tell a story. Some of the images that stood out to people was this one that looked like a biblical angel. Another one is this one that shows the anatomy of a human, and it reminded many of a reconnaissance drawing. The face of a man was also found within the pile of drawings, although it's not known whether this was a self-image or a drawing of someone else. But again it reminded some of the older drawings that we've seen throughout history. Another drawing is that of a strange wheel with bizarre engravings on them. This photograph shows what appears to be a ship of some kind, perhaps an early representation of an airship, while others said that it looks eerily similar to the strange depictions of mysterious aircrafts that have been sighted in the modern day. One user suggested that the person who created them may have been an early inventor, and that these drawings may have been part of a scrapbook that they used in order to give themselves inspiration, or they could have been inventions that they were working on. When it comes to history, think of the amount of people that have gone unnoticed. Think of all those people who massively contributed to something but never got their fair share of credit. Perhaps this was once a fantastic inventor who never got credited for their inventions. Perhaps they were an artist who wanted to bring their drawings to life. The possibilities are endless, and it's fun to think about the origins of these images and the individual behind them. An interesting photograph is being shared around social media, and it shows a drawing that was allegedly made by an inmate. The user detailed that their dad had found a piece of paper with a strange drawing on it, along with several messages that had to be deciphered. The document has on it the following messages: United States Government Department of Justice. The gates have opened. My time has come. Your cities will burn. 5 Zion polyhedra. Interlocking dimensions and musical resonance. For your intellect, I've simplified this as far as possible. It requires someone stupider than I am to communicate to you, and though your own incredulity laughter, you are for the present moment powerless against me. Proportions of 9 always produce self-repeating non-zero digits in these simulations. The user detailed that the document was allegedly created by someone who had schizophrenia, and said they were worried that someone was going to steal their work. One user said the following: I'm not going to go into detail about this drawing or whether it even makes sense, but something that I found interesting is that people who suffer from these illnesses are very interesting. You quickly learn that once you get past the diagnosis and actually sit down with them to have a conversation, you can learn a lot about the way they see the world and what makes their minds believe certain things. They're not stupid and they're not worthless. It's just they see the world differently to most people. The main thing is that it affects their ability to think and see clearly, and this means that sometimes they get it into their heads that people are trying to plot against them, or that they're hearing voices which makes them think that they've been somehow placed there. These voices and illusions they experience makes it hard for them to trust people, which then makes it difficult for them to know what's real and what isn't. It's an interesting drawing, and if genuine, it gives you an incredible insight into how the human mind works. While another user said this: it's interesting that the individual was worried that their work was going to be stolen, and that's exactly what happened. Regardless of whether or not these messages mean anything, I don't think the man should have stolen the drawing. It's only going to mess with the mind of the individual that created it, confirming their beliefs that someone was going to steal from them, and it's likely that they'll get even worse now when it comes to trusting people. The drawing also features the number 1.618, which is also known as the golden ratio, or divine proportion in mathematics. Interestingly, the golden ratio appears many times in mathematics, and has also been found in geometry, art and architecture. In fact, a South African researcher said the universe is governed by the golden ratio, and said that time itself is defined by this mathematical constant. The team behind the study said the golden ratio has been found in all aspects of life, and said this number can be used to link everything in the universe together, and said that this golden ratio has been observed in space biology and also chemistry. The research was carried out by Dr. Jan Boyens at the University of Pretoria and Dr. Francis Thackeray of the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa. After conducting their experiments, they said that the golden ratio can be seen in a variety of different areas and can be related not only to aspects of mathematics, but also to physics, chemistry, biology and the topology of space-time. The researchers said the following: a convincing case for assuming a cosmic character of the golden ratio can be made based on the ubiquity of logarithmic spirals. Spectacular examples include the Whirlpool Galaxy, Annamites the shape of nautilus shells, Hurricane Katrina and the distribution of planets, moons, asteroids and rings in the solar system. The researchers suggested that the reason this golden ratio keeps showing up is because this ratio is actually a property of space-time. They continued with the following. The argument that this amazing coincidence arises from a common environmental constraint, which can only be an intrinsic feature of curved space-time, is compelling. The time has come to recognize that relativity and quantum theories can be integrated and linked numerically to the value of a mathematical constant, whether in the context of space-time or biology. Whether you believe these drawings are nonsense or hold any value, researchers have long debated the effects that prison has on people. Back in 1997, a study revealed that not only is prison bad for the mind, but it actually makes people much worse, and in general keeps them in a constant downward spiral. This is a direct quote from a document that looked into prison and the effects that it has on prisoners. There is a particularly urgent need for the increased provision for the care of those with problems, who make up a larger proportion of the prison population than they would any other group in the community. What is more, prison can exacerbate these problems, which has a long-term impact on the individual concerned and the community into which he or she may be released. Since the late 1980s, the proportion of the prison population who showed signs of these illnesses has risen sevenfold. The problem is overwhelming. So what do you make of this interesting discovery? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.